Hi, I am Anna. I come from www.ntvforex.com. USD CAD bulls stalling despite technical sell-off in oil. http ntvforex.com news ID 8BF2C3 1 minutes ago by Ross J. Berland. USD CAD bulls pausing as prices settle. NBSP back on recent lows and support despite oil sell-off. Renewed optimism of a U.S. economic recovery has given fuel NBSP to a downtrodden USD. Prospects of tapering from the BOC are supportive of CAD. USD CAD is currently trading at 1.3059 and quiet in midday New York session, held up at support in a sideways chop between a 1.3053 and 1.3095 range. NBSP. The US dollar has been on the comeback and is some 0.5% higher in the DXY at the time of writing. NBSP. The greenback S bid was fueled by yesterday's ISM manufacturing beat shook out some weak hands betting against it following last week's outline of a new approach from the Federal Reserve's chairman, Jerome Powell. U.S. manufacturing expanded in August at its fastest pace since late 2018, with the ISM's manufacturing index rising to 65 from 54.2 in July. As for the Fed, the central bank NBSP intends to allow inflation to exceed the 2% target and for the unemployment rate to run low before seriously considering a rate hike. Based on the current Fed's projections, inflation is not expected to reach the 2% objective before 2023, so this gave the green light to dollar bears who had been already jumping the gun on an amber light. The running consensus is that unless market sentiment deteriorates markedly and risk aversion increases significantly, the dollar is likely to remain on the back foot. However, it is evident from yesterday's reaction to the ISM number that data still matters, which makes this week's non-farm payrolls event an important one. More on that below. The key events ahead. Domestic data had been received well. Meanwhile, market participants have been NBSP getting rewarded for staying short USD CAD, although bearish bets have been reduced in this recent spike. NBSP domestic data had been received well. The second quarter gross domestic produce NBSP was slightly better than feared at 38.7% NBSP. While this was the largest pullback on record, but it was slightly better than projected in the July MPR 43%, flash estimates from StatCan 40%, or the market consensus 39.4%. NBSP. What was important here, the strong momentum into Q3 puts 2020 growth tracking well above the NBSP BOC's forecast of 7.8%. Does it bring in the question as to whether the bank will now start to think about NBSP removing stimulus anytime soon? If the NBSP Canadian market could find itself contemplating tapering as soon as the first quarter, then such sentiment will bode strongly for the Canadian dollar, especially in a weak dollar rate environment. NBSP crude oil prices support the CAD. Another feature of the market has been crude oil. The nation's natural resources economy is export-based, which account for 45% of its total gross domestic product (GDP). The exportation of crude oil itself represents 10% of total Canadian exports, and Canada is said to be a net exporter of crude oil. Therefore, crude oil pricing can influence Canada's economy on a national level. The black gold had NBSP gained earlier this week as investors were buoyed by positive economic data and signs of a slower build-up in OPEC output. Yesterday's US ISM NBSP was accompanied by a private gauge of Chinese activity also growing strongly, which helped to lift the price of oil as well. NBSP. Additionally, OPEC monthly production rose by only half the amount permitted under the OPEC supply agreement. However, there was a potential late reaction to NBSP. Russian Energy Minister Alexander Novak, who said earlier today that they will propose that OPEC reacts to recovery in energy demand. Oil price analysis. WTI continues to be under pressure and breaks $42 per barrel. The market had also priced in today's news from yesterday's APIs, so the combination may well have been just enough to trigger stops and shake out the weak speculators below $42.50 WTI, which went on to print a daily low of $41.28. Key events ahead. Besides this week's U.S. non-farm payrolls event, Canada will also offer its own NBSP labor market data. Analysts at TD Securities expect that the recovery should lose some steam in August with 225K jobs created, down from the 680K averaged over June-July. The creation of 225K jobs, according to the analysts, NBSP should allow UE to drift lower to 10.2%. This reflects a pause in reopening measures, although the continued improvement in mobility and benefits data point to another strong month for job growth. NBSP USD CAD levels USD CAD overview today last price 1.3064 today daily change 0.0000 today daily change percent 0.00 today daily open 1.3064 NBSP trends daily SMA 201.3208 daily SMA 501.3393 daily SMA 1001.3617 daily SMA 2001.3526 NBSP levels previous daily high 1.3087 previous daily low 1.2994 previous weekly high 1.324 previous weekly low 1.3048 previous monthly high 1.3451 previous monthly low 1.302 daily Fibonacci 38.2% 1.3052 daily Fibonacci 61.8% 1.303 daily pivot point S1 1.301 daily pivot point S2 1.2956 daily pivot point S3 1.2918 daily pivot point R1 1.3103 daily pivot point R2 1.3141 daily pivot point R3 1.3195 NBSP Subscribe our channel to receive the news as soon as possible. Thank you for watching. If you want to read real-time news, text messages to MT5 Expert Advisors page at https://m.me mt5.expert.advisors.